What's up, nerd family? Enosh here, and I got a little bit of a break. I got to go get some lunch, and I'm taking you with me because guess what? Hashtag I love Star Wars. That's right, I love Star Wars. Do you love Star Wars? If you love Star Wars, give me a what? That's right. Give me a what, because I love Star Wars. And Star Wars is good. Star Wars is great. What's up, William? That's right, William's giving me a what? Star Wars in the house. We are love Star Wars. Buzz, what? Here's the thing. So it's funny, because I started this whole hashtag I love Star Wars thing, and I am hearing from people, man, who are actually excited about this. They're using the hashtag, they're tagging me in this stuff. And hey, if you do, please tag me in whatever you do. I want to support you as you support this idea of I love Star Wars. I want to end negativity between the fandom, right? Now look, I've had a couple people say to me, you know, Enosh, I don't think it's going to solve anything. I don't think that the fandom is going to come together, and that could possibly be, right? That's awesome, Buzz. That is awesome. So you know what? There may be people, yes, who are stubborn, and that's why I titled this video the way that I did, because I know that there are going to be people who say, no, I refuse to let go of this negativity. I refuse to let go of this hatred of Disney, Star Wars, and of Kathleen Kennedy and all this stuff. And I'm just saying to you, I got to stop for this car. I'm just saying to you, I think that this is going to break down walls, because I have already had some amazing conversations with people who still do not like The Last Jedi, who still do not like Disney Star Wars, but we're talking and we're having communication. We're having discussions now, and that's what's important. That's what's important among the fans, because the fans got to come back together. And here's my thoughts on it. And this is what I just posted this to somebody else. I understand that people think that because they don't like Star Wars the way it is, because they don't like it the way it is, they feel like they've got to boycott it. They've got to send a message to Disney. And I understand that thinking, right? I understand that thinking, that this is what we got to do because that's the only way we're going to change things. But it's really not the only way that you change things. You can be positive and do things in a positive way that can bring about change. You don't have to be negative. And see, here's my theory on this, is that the problem is Disney does not look at the fandom menace as a positive means of change, to just people just saying, hey, we don't like this, you know, we don't agree with this. People are threatening. People are like I've seen people be so rude, and I'm not saying that the whole fandom menace is like this, but I'm saying I've seen people be so rude and just say some horrible things about Kathleen Kennedy, and it's like, you don't know who that is. You don't know them. You don't know her personally. Like, why would you say such like awful things? I literally had somebody last week. All I did was I was in a thread, and I just said, you know, I can kind of understand what Freddie Prinze Jr. was saying with his stuff, because like he worked for Lucasfilm, and then this guy, he doesn't engage me in a dialogue, doesn't like engage me in questions or anything, or like talk at all. He just said this very vulgar thing. He told me to eat stuff that was not edible, and I'm just like, really? Like, that's where we've come to, that like as human beings we can't just talk about Star Wars anymore. Like I remember being on the playground, man, and I had friends, like we talk about, we went over the difference between like what Star Wars movie in the original trilogy we like the best, right? And somebody would say, oh, I like Return of the Jedi, and I would go, no, I like Empire, and we'd debate by that. We say, oh no, you're wrong and stuff. But nobody was like saying, you know, I wish you would die, or eat this and die, or what. I mean, just like, what are we doing, folks? We are ending this negativity. As my grandma would say, in Jesus' name, we're ending this negativity. We are moving on, because it's been too long. It's been too long that we've continued with this negativity, and I understand the emotions behind it. I understand that people are passionate about Star Wars, but I also understand that negativity is not going to heal anything. It's not going to change anything, and we've got to come together as fans. Yes, we can make our voices known. You know what? Yes, am I upset that Mara Jade is not in the sequel trilogy? Absolutely. And I think it's a travesty, and I think that it's a mistake, and it's wrong. It's wrong because Mara Jade is one of the best Star Wars characters ever, and she's never been in a movie, right? But I'm not boycotting Star Wars over it. Is Rey my favorite character in Star Wars? Nope. Are there some big mistakes? Like, does it make sense to me how she's able to do the Jedi mind trick? Nope. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm not boycotting Star Wars about it. Just because I haven't seen it in another movie. Like, I saw somebody like yesterday was yelling at me saying that just because Admiral Holdo flies a ship through another ship, that's reason enough that Star Wars sucks and we got to boycott it. And I'm like, how? That's a thing that can happen, folks. Ships can, Han Solo says it. It's set up from Han Solo that basically, if you don't, properly plot your course through the Navicomputer, you can go through a ship or a star or whatever, or a planet or an asteroid or whatever. You gotta do it right. And so all I'm saying is I'm not trying to fight with anybody, right? That's the opposite of what I'm doing. Opposite. This is positive. Hashtag I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and you love Star Wars, and that's why you're here, and that's why I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this like I don't think I've felt anything before, and I just feel like this is a movement. This is something we got to keep on, right? So I would say, if you've been using the hashtag I love Star Wars, continue using the hashtag I love Star Wars. What's up, Landon? That's right. You like it a little? I like it a little. The thing is that, you know what? Star Wars just has so many different things. So I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen the Ewoks movie. And you know why? Because either one of them. Because I started to see a little bit of it, and it looked like it was horrible to me. And so I get it. But I'm not ready to tear down all of Star Wars because the Ewoks movies sucked. And some people would say that's blasphemy because they love the Ewoks movies and the holiday special, and that's George Lucas, man. George Lucas didn't do the holiday special, right? But you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. What's that? What's going on? Hey! I am literally live streaming on YouTube right now. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you guys like Star Wars?
Yeah.
Do you love Star Wars?
Yeah.
We're starting a campaign, hashtag I love Star Wars. And I'm right now broadcasting. I have a channel called Poindexter Lounge. And we talk about all things nerdy and all fun stuff like that. And so we're tired of the negativity amongst the Star Wars fans and stuff. And we're saying we're going to be positive. And so we've been on this thing all week long. We're hashtagging I love Star Wars.
YouTube?
It's on YouTube, bro. Poindexter Lounge.
All right, I'll look it up.
All right, man. Here we go. See, this is what I'm talking about. Folks, I love this. Well, let me get my hand out of the way. See, guys? See what I'm saying? There is something about this. I've never felt this kind of, I don't know, right? I feel something about this. That this is something that had to be done. This is something that had to be said. That this is our time to rise up as Star Wars fans and say, look, we get it. There's been mistakes. There's been trouble. There's been frustration. There's been all these things. But we are Star Wars fans, gosh darn it. And this is something that we love. And you know what? Nobody's going to take it away from me. Nobody's going to ruin this so that no matter how much they think they're doing good, we're not going to ruin this. We're going to make our concerns known. We're definitely not going to just, shut up and go into the night and act like, we can't ever say anything. Letting some people go ahead. We can't ever say anything. Here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but oops. You guys can tell me if you can see it. Right there is Mount Rainier volcano. Right there.
dormant. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's pretty cool. It's a beautiful site here in Seattle, for sure, in the Seattle area. But guys, this is us, man. This is our time. This is our time to shine. You know, that's twice now driving down the street, man. Just if somebody pulls up next to me, there's a car full of kids. They're going to look up the channel. They're going to be a part of this, and we're going to do this together, folks. We are going to make a positive change for Star Wars together. And you know what? You know what I think is going to be interesting is if we get some resolution to the things that everybody's been complaining about, right? And I'm not on the road, so I'm going to check some of this stuff. Is that a crash Death Star? Nice. Here's the thing. Wouldn't it be interesting if we get some resolution to some of these issues that people have been like going off on because they're legitimate issues, and I admit those things, that they're legitimate issues. But wouldn't it be something if we get that because of our positivity? Because we're willing to sit down and have these conversations with people, right? And we're willing to do these things. I think that'd be fascinating. And I think we can do it. You and me, us together, right? Hashtag I love Star Wars and tag me in it. If you use it, if you use the tag me in it. You can find me on Facebook at Enosh Fee. You can find me on Twitter at Enosh Fett. And all that is usually down in our descriptions of all of our videos. I'm on Instagram. Enosh Fett 1 is on Instagram. Yeah, guys, let's do this, right? I said on a video of your old channel, congratulations on your weight loss. Hey, thanks, man. Who is that? Soy-based Jeremy. Hey, what's up, Soy-based Jeremy? So, Soy-based Jeremy is somebody who has been a part of the Fandom Menace, and I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate it. I gotta pull out of here so that I can look. Hold on just a second. Like doing these car videos, man, you gotta concentrate on a lot of different things at the same time, right? So pull out here. No, I appreciate that, man. I'm feeling great. I'm doing good. I got this renewed energy, right? And I say we're going to save Star Wars. We're going to save Star Wars. We're going to save the fandom. Don't worry, guys. I know I heard somebody say, well, don't do that because you're driving, but I'm not driving right now. So yeah. Thanks, Bruce. Way to go, Soy-based Jeremy. He was 195 pounds. He's 125. Good job, man. Bruce is down 105. That's right. We're going to do it all. We're going to lose weight. We're going to get feeling good. We're going to get in Jedi training shape, and we are going to make a difference in the Star Wars community. I just feel it. I just know it. I feel it. Like I was at Starbucks yesterday. If you watched that video, we were in the drive-thru, and I just asked the question, do you like Star Wars? Yes. Do you love Star Wars? Yes. Let's use this hashtag. Let's get the word out to love Star Wars, to let people know what you love as a fan, and to let people know that you're not just willing to just give it up. You don't want it to die. We got The Rise of Skywalker coming out. We're all hoping that that's a positive thing, and that we're able to move on from there. And like I've said, and I love Star Wars Jedi weight loss group. I like that too. That's a good idea too. But seriously, like let's be the positive force behind this movement. Let's make a difference the best way we can, because that's we're in a crazy world, folks. We're in a crazy world where lots of crazy stuff happens, and people have a lot of opinions, and people got a lot of ways of looking at stuff. But when it comes to something like Star Wars, this is something we need. I don't know about you, but I need this. I need Star Wars. People always ask me, like, why are you such a big fan, Enosh? Like, why wouldn't you, why are you so passionate about this? Because you know what? Star Wars has been there for me my whole life. I was always able to pop those movies in and watch them. And even the prequels, when I didn't like the prequels, so much. Like, I was able to pop the prequels in and watch them, and it takes me to this world where there's these characters who face these things. And that's why I guess, like, for me, The Last Jedi, like, I could see myself in that, like, because I'm getting older now, and I see things change, and you don't always have the same optimism you had, But, man, I want us to I want for me, not I want for all of us, but for me, this is important that I see Star Wars loved, and cared for. That's important, and I think the only way that we do that is by being positive, because sometimes when you're just negative to just be negative, you end up becoming. Because here's the thing: even if people's intentions were good, and I think there's a lot of people who are part of the fandom menace that and if you don't know what that is, if you're new to the channel or whatever, um, you know, I think a lot of the reason why people are complaining and the negativity started was because they're passionate about Star Wars and they love Star Wars. And I would never tell those people you're not a true fan, you're not a good fan just because you don't like something. That's for nobody to say. And so I always try to make that point up front, that this is not about telling you what to think or what movies you should or shouldn't like. This is about saying, let's channel our frustrations into something positive, right? Maybe we get Disney's attention by saying, look, we love Star Wars. We're not calling for anybody to boycott. We're not doing anything like that, right? We're just saying we love Star Wars. Just take a look at this, right? And I agree with you, Soy-Based Jeremy. That's why I stopped watching Supergirl. That's why I stopped. Batwoman. Batwoman hasn't been as bad so far. Not as bad as Supergirl for sure. Not yet. But it is what it is. Batwoman. I'm a little more forgiving about Batwoman because Batwoman. There's already some characteristics of that in the comics, right? So like I can't be mad at some of that stuff or be upset when I turn on Batwoman because Batwoman is already gay. She's already going to live in that world with some of those things, and so I can't get mad at that. But when I turn on Supergirl, I don't like getting hit over the head with identity politics and SJW stuff, and this cry for stuff that doesn't make any sense. I don't. That's not my thing. But I think that we're supposed to care for each other, and I think that we're supposed to come to some common ground together, and not just go off on each other and, call each other names and insult each other and hurt each other just because we're frustrated about a movie, right? And I agree, Soy-Based Jeremy, attacking fans doesn't help. I think what has happened, though, here is because of the response, because it has not been positive, because it has not been channeled in a positive way. I mean, what is Disney going to say? Okay, we're going to change everything for you. They can't do that. And so I understand Freddie Prinze Jr.'s frustration. Do I agree with the way he presented it? No, I don't. I don't agree with his tirade about it. But I understand that, like, he's saying, look, I worked for Lucasfilm, right? I've met with George Lucas. I've met with Dave Filoni. Like, I worked for Dave Filoni. This is what it is, guys. Like, you can argue with it all day long, but it's what it is. And so I don't think anybody should be calling anybody names. I don't think anybody should be attacking anybody. But I think also with something like this, there's also room for the fact that people, when they're passionate about something and you just have a conversation, because I know this has happened to me, just having a conversation with people, they've taken it as if like I'm like coming at them with both barrels, and all I'm saying is, hey, I like Star Wars, right? When I say I love Star Wars, I've literally had some people message me and say that I should not say I love Star Wars because Star Wars is awful and I am somehow an idiot for saying I love Star Wars. Well, I'm sorry, but I love Star Wars. Like, what do you want me to do? I can't change that about me because I love Star Wars, right? So, let's stop with the name calling. Let's stop calling each other idiots. Let's stop much worse, because I've been called much worse just because I say I love Star Wars. Not attacking anybody, not saying anything negative about anybody, not telling anybody how to feel or what to think or anything. Just saying I love Star Wars. That's why I did my video this morning that, or it was yesterday maybe, that apparently by that. But here's the thing, Soy-Based Jeremy. I think I just want to, I don't know, just call you Soy-Based or just call you Jeremy. I don't know. But Soy-Based Jeremy. So George, yeah, he felt that way when he sold it, right? And I get that. You built something, you grew it up, man. You wrote treatments for these movies, and they're not going to do your movies. They're not going to do your version. That's heartbreaking. But that was also 7, 8 years ago. That's not now. The information is coming out now, but people are acting like that's how George Lucas feels now. George Lucas has come out many times. Like, is he excited about it? No, because they're not his stories. But they've now consulted with him, and he's actually soy-based. There you go. They've actually talked about the fact that George, is consulting on some of these movies and some of these films and come in and given his opinion. And he's been happy about that. And he's actually changed his tune on some of those feelings that he had, because Disney never promised him they were going to use it. And when you give somebody $4.5 billion plus stock options, plus buy their treatments for 3 movies, even if you're not going to make them, you kind of lose the ability to complain about it because you sold it. And he only sold it because the fans turned on him. The fans turned on George Lucas, and that's why George Lucas sold Star Wars to begin with. So, excuse me, this all goes back to the fans. This is all on our heads for George felt like he was attacked and totally destroyed about the prequels, and so that's why he gave up. And that's where we're at, And so now, I'm going to plug my phone in here so the phone doesn't die. So now, it comes out with the book, that Bob Iger does.
Lucas, was felt betrayed. Well, yeah, he felt that way, but now they've brought him back into the fold. But it's just like when people talk about Mark Hamill, that Mark Hamill is ticked off with the state of Star Wars and stuff. First of all, Mark Hamill has said a lot of stuff, but Mark Hamill is the best at trolling people. Mark Hamill is phenomenal at messing with people. And then even when people started coming out and misrepresenting what he said and like making it to sound something else, Mark Hamill has backed off those comments and what he said. And Mark Hamill doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that for Disney or anybody else, and he has. So I think somewhere in the middle is where we find the truth, right? It's not that everybody's the devil on both sides. That's why, like, I did a post today that Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is not the devil. Because I saw a side of him in this video yesterday that he did with Robert Meyer Burnett. It's the first time I've ever seen him back off and say some stuff positive. It was like he actually saw that that he was not the alpha in that conversation, right? He was not the alpha in that conversation. Okay, but Buzz here, or was it Russ or Buzz? Oh, Russ. So it hasn't been the same since the seagulls attacked Russ. So here's the thing, though. You can't have it both ways. If he's contractually obligated and you feel that that's why he backed off, why does he still say stuff? He still makes comments. He still says what he wants to say, and that it's right. Like, you can't have it both ways. Either he's under contract and he just has to toe the line, and so all of his comments make no sense, or he was tooling with people and then tried to explain that he was tooling with people. But people still don't get it. I've seen him tool with people. I mean, he tools with people for other stuff. He messes with people. So, that is what it is. Lucasfilm is sadly in crisis mode. Benioff and Weiss canceled their trilogy. That incompetence canceling movies. You can't say that's not coming. That's not. No. And Soy-Based Jeremy, if you see my last 2 videos, I've talked about this. This is a concern. Losing people, directors and writers and stuff for these new movies is a huge gaping hole of a concern. And that speaks. It all goes back to Kathleen Kennedy. And that's why I did a video just yesterday that said maybe it's time that Kathleen Kennedy, after The Rise of Skywalker, that she gracefully bows out and says, you know what, we're going to move on, because she is not properly vetted directors and writers and people who are coming on Star Wars. And so it's embarrassing because she's had Lord and Miller, she's had other people, now it's Benioff and Weiss. This Ryan Johnson thing has been still like holding out for a long time, and nobody wants to see a Ryan Johnson movie. Like, even though I liked The Last Jedi, I do not want to see Ryan Johnson do another Star Wars movie because everybody's just going to be ticked off about it. So no, I don't want to see that either. And then you had Josh Trank, who was supposed to do a Boba Fett movie. You know, but see, it's not just Kathleen Kennedy. It's Disney. It's a bunch of higher ups. Kathleen. It does not all just come down to Kathleen Kennedy. There's a lot of people there making those decisions, and a lot of things that are going on. So yes, she's head of Lucasfilm, but there's a lot more there. And so I think that really what's going to happen is the next thing we're going to see is this Kevin Feige Star Wars movie. And then I think that they're going to transition into trying to find somebody else to take over Lucasfilm that can start with a fresh start. And I hope that people can get behind that. I hope that people can put aside all this, all this negativity, and that we can move forward as a fandom, and just enjoy what we can enjoy. I feel that one day, people. What's up, Shadow? I feel, well, you know what? I'll say this. I want a Boba Fett movie. Just because people don't ask for something doesn't mean that it can't be good. I said the same thing about Han Solo. Nobody asked for a Han Solo movie. I feel that the Han Solo movie, besides some glaring issues, how he got his name is just awful. And also, I did not really care for the Kessel Run, to be quite honest with you. If you ever read the Jedi Academy trilogy books, they describe it much better than that. But besides that, it was a fun movie, and you know what? I'm glad it got made. A Boba Fett movie, I think, would have been something I would have wanted to see. But if you didn't see Solo, Solo's good. It's a shame. It is an absolute shame that the backlash happened for The Last Jedi before Solo could come out and be a thing. Because, honestly, Solo is not a bad movie. It's not the greatest thing in film, right? But it's not a bad thing. What's this? Yeah, Ruz, you know what? So that's another concern. You're absolutely right, because honestly, this next form of Disney, or these next Marvel movies, I'm not really excited about at all. I am not really excited about these new Marvel movies. I don't know where this stuff is going, so Soy-based Jeremy, I don't know how. See, here's the problem with the SJW thing. People start finding it under every rock now, right? How is that SJW anything? I don't get that. I really don't get that, because Kira is not SJW anything. She who? Like, I don't get that. I honestly, and I'm not saying that to be sarcastic, I don't get that. What do you see that's SJW in Solo? See, and this is the thing. It's like, all of a sudden, like, people think that they see something in one movie, and then all of a sudden everything that comes out, well, that's SJW, that's SJW, that's SJW. Everybody gets an SJW. Oprah Winfrey's got an SJW under everybody's seat or something. I just don't see it. I don't see that everything has to be SJW just because it has a female or whatever, What agenda, though? I mean, I would have to see that. You'd have to send me a link to it, and maybe I could react to it or something, because I have watched that movie so many times. A gay-bi relationship with a robot. Ruz, hold on. Gay-bi. The robot's a female. The robot has a female voice. How is that gay or bi? I don't understand that. How is that gay? What's up, Gunter? Welcome. Hello, you just joined. Welcome. Welcome to our live stream. Hashtag I love Star Wars. We're talking about loving Star Wars. Right now we're talking about Solo. I don't know how how is Lando's relationship with his droid. I admit it's weird. Pansexual. Oh, you know what? Okay, so the pansexual thing, I heard somebody say that, and you know what? That's bullcrap. Whatever. I don't buy that. You know, like, that is so off my radar that I don't even care about that. That wasn't portrayed in the movie. That's not something that was like, oh, Lando is this, what is social justice warriors have to do with having a relationship with your droid? The Tarkin's gay. Oh my gosh. So here's this stuff, man. Like, just because somebody makes an off comment does not make it so, and does not make it something that we have to buy as a fandom. Like, I ignore that crap, because that's just crap. Producers and people say kind of all kinds of crap all the time and do all kinds of stuff that that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I'll say him having a relationship with his droid is a little weird, but there's people who have relationships with all kinds of stuff. I mean, if we want to be honest, right? That are not human and not necessarily alive either. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a glorified version of that, but I don't know. But it has nothing to do with him being gay. You know, I don't know. I just think that's stretching it. That's me, but that's me, you know. Yeah, it is kind of weird that a human would love a droid and have relations with the droid, but there's plenty of people having relations with different stuff. Yeah, right. This is getting interesting. Well, you know, so Sergio, this is not what this is about, and we're not getting into all this, because that's all the negativity. That's what I'm saying. That is all the junk that we need to be ignoring. That is all a bunch of stuff that does not matter to me as a Star Wars fan. If some producer or some writer somewhere says I was writing with this in mind because I thought that you know, this person was like this or this person was like that, right? That doesn't matter to me, because you know what? Hashtag, somebody say it, I love Star Wars. Yes. And Twitter is full of junk. And so is Instagram. And so is Reddit. And so is Mike Zero. But you know what? We continue on and we just put all that crap to the side and we remember that we love Star Wars. That's what we got to do, guys. That we got to remember that we love Star Wars. Gunter says, even though it's against topic, how do you feel about Han Solo's death in The Force Awakens? I feel like they are kind of ruined the ending of his arc. So, you know what? I will address that real quick. Great question. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the way they killed Han Solo. I didn't feel that it had the gravity that it should have had. As soon as Han Solo started to walk out on that suspension bridge, I said, don't go, don't go. I knew he was going to die. I just knew he was going to die. And I don't like the way that they did it. I don't have a problem with him. I have a problem with it. I have a problem with him killing him. But I'm not surprised that he died, you know, and I'm fine with him passing to serve the the greater good of the story, right? I just didn't like the way it happened. I didn't like the way it was put into motion. But I also know, well, yeah, Sergio, you nailed it right on the head. I mean, Harrison Ford has been wanting to kill off Han Solo since The Empire Strikes Back. So, and that's probably the only way that they got him to come back was to actually kill off his character. So, that being said, you know, it's part of Harrison Ford's thing. You know, Harrison Ford, I love him. He's like one of the greatest actors of all time. He's been some of the greatest characters I've ever known. But you know, he wanted him to die. So just, yeah, like you said, but just not like that. I agree. I didn't want him to die like that, but he did. But I'm not gonna like boycott the movies because of it. You know, it happened, and when stuff happens, That's life. If stuff happens in life that sucks, and you don't like the way that it happened, and you wish that it could happen in a more satisfying way, but it doesn't. And so you got to deal with it. That's, you know, and that's one of the biggest things I took away from The Last Jedi was, this is not what I expected it to be, but I really liked it because it showed me, hey, you know what? Life is not always what you want it to be. Life is not always the way that you see it. But, you know, life happens. And so, so that is what it is. And I'll just leave it at this. There's a lot of crap out there. There's I don't like people putting ideologies into Star Wars either. I love Star Wars, and that's why we're keeping it simple. Because I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Somebody give me a hashtag I love Star Wars right now. Come on. I want to see it pop up right here in the little corner, right where I'm pointing right now. Come on. Flood me with some Star Wars love, guys, as I get ready to turn off the live stream here because I got to get back to my thing. I want to see some Star Wars love. Come on, there it is. Gunter in with some I love Star Wars. Way to go, Gunter. Oh, we're going to make this a thing. We're going to use this hashtag and keep using this hashtag and get people's attention. Get people's attention with I love Star Wars. And if you do that, oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can make things better, Ruz. I love you, man, but we can make things better. We can definitely make things better by being a positive. I think you can always do more in a positive when you use the power of positivity than ever using the power of the negative. The negative never outshines the positive. The light side always rises up to meet the dark side and defeats it every time. And that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna be negative. We're not gonna win a battle like that. We're gonna win it by being positive and having some fun. All right. So hey, guys, use the hashtag I love Star Wars and tag me in it. Find me on social media. All those things. All my social media sites are in links in the descriptions of my videos and stuff. So you can do that. You can find that and. We are going to do it. Yes, I am pumped for The Mandalorian. I can't wait. We're probably going to do some live streams of The Mandalorian. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. We're going to continue on with this thing. Okay, guys? I got to get going, but I love you all. Thank you for joining me on this ride. And hashtag I love Star Wars. And I know you do too. Until next time, guys, stay nerdy. Bye-bye.